What is going on? You are watching and listening to Tags Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live podcast every Wednesday night on the Connection Zone on our Get Vocal platform. So happy to be a part of it. This is episode 252, and I'm your host, Steve V, alongside Cody Maurice Doggett. How are you?
Hello, darling. I'm doing well today. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing really, really good. This is a busy week for us here.
Yeah.
I was looking at the shows that we have, and I'm recording 6 shows this week. And for a lot of you guys listening, obviously, if you listen to us, we've got Tags Podcast that drops every Tuesday. We've got Tags Live every Wednesday night, and then it gets repackaged into the podcast platform the next day. We do a pre-show on Instagram Live that we just did a few minutes ago, which is I'm really enjoying those pre-shows on Instagram Live at 8:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Tags Podcast.
It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun.
We just get the community over there is really building at Tags Podcast on Instagram, and we get people that maybe know about the show but listen to a show here and there, new people that just know us. I love that, tapping into new markets, if you will.
Oh, for sure.
It's a lot of fun. We have a big announcement though for those of you guys that are on Clubhouse. Have you guys heard of Clubhouse? Okay, Ooh. So I'm sure you guys have. It started late last fall, and essentially it's a new platform that currently is still in its beta. I don't know if you want to say beta, but it's still in its early phases, and it's all on the iOS devices right now. So you have to be on an iPhone per se. It will, I think, expand a little bit later, but it's really cool. All about conversations. If you get invited, and inevitably at this point, you will know somebody that is on it. So just find a friend that's on Clubhouse and then get them to invite you. What it really is just conversations in various, I belong to different clubhouses in marketing and social media, but I also I'm a part of, you put basically your likes. So I'm also into meditation. Yep. And I'm into sound baths, and so I'm a part of those. And then,
what's a sound bath?
A sound bath is a meditation based to music, and oftentimes it's just singer. So my favorite singer, Aya, does a sound bath. I'll send you that link on there. It's really good. It's a way to get you into a meditative spirit, and to meditate for maybe about 45 to an hour. It's really
Can I come to your house to take the bath, though?
You can take a bath in my bath, and you can do the sound bath. Unrelated. Greg says, do I have to have an iPhone to access Clubhouse? It is currently only on iOS currently. Yes. Thank you, JJ. The glasses, I know. I got these recently and testing them out. Thank you for your feedback. I appreciate that. So we debut our new show. It's going to be called Sex Positivity LGBTQ+. And we really mean that, LGBTQ+. So we even want our straight allies in there. It's not Tags Podcast. It's not Tags Live. It's a new conversation, a 2-hour conversation to begin with that Cody and I are really doing on our own. He's just as much as part of it as I am. And we're going to bring in special guests. We're going to be talking about our sex positivity.
And sexual health and just wellness and coming to terms with your sexuality and all things of that nature. And it's going to be a fabulous broad discussion. So everybody come and check it out and just bring an open mind, and that's all.
Cody put the link up in our messages right now. So if you are a part of it, click on the link and you can join the conversation. It's 9 p.m. tomorrow for about 2 hours. We'll be there every week. However, if you're listening to this, because this gets dropped tomorrow, you can go to tagspodcast.com and there'll be a link up there to join the conversation. All right. So super excited about that. this week on Tags Podcast, we were with my co-host Lincoln and Jeremy Ross Lopez. We were talking about a brand new thing called Hey Greg.
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay. No worries. No worries. We got a special guest already. Do you got to wait? Do you have a question for us, Greg?
No, I just clicked on the wrong thing, I guess.
That's okay, Greg. That's okay.
Hi, Greg. It's good to see you.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Super cool. You can just exit out if you want. And I love it. Oh, I love your picture too, Greg.
So cute.
So cool.
I'm sorry, guys.
Not at all. Not at all.
Sure.
No problem.
I think we can. I don't want to.
Shit.
There, step down. There you go.
Right, there we
okay,
go.
Cool, perfect. So, follow up to this week's Tags podcast because we were talking about this new phenomenon. I don't know why about super straight. So, if you listen to this week's episode, it was we were talking about this new phenomenon about super straight. Cody, did you listen to it?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. So to get you guys up to speed, this guy came out with this new, what he's calling a new thing called super straight. It's a movement and people are really calling it anti-trans because essentially it is. He goes, yo guys, I made up a new sexuality. Okay, it's not a sexuality. Just because you say it is. Royce.
I'm trying to hold it in right now. I'm trying to hold all the comments in, but
this guy's being dragged through the weeds these days. Kyle Royce. It's kind of sad, but you know, when you step up on TikTok like this and you say something like, yo guys, I made a new sexuality and it's called super straight because he doesn't date trans women as they're quote, not real women. So I'm sure you're following along with me and you realize that that's where the trouble began is he created this, which he's calling a new sexuality, which it's not a new sexuality just because you call it that. Unfortunately, the hashtag super straight gained momentum. As you can imagine, we're going to be talking in Vulnerable Voices in a minute about the amount of hate. And it has to do, he started this because it thinks that trans women are like he only dates women, like women that were born women and stayed in their gender. And he's calling, and maybe fine, you're allowed to do that. Date women that are not trans. Fine. Where I think he got into a lot of trouble, Cody, is when he then stated because he doesn't date trans women because they're not real women. Don't you think that?
That's just horrible.
Cody.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I can, yes.
So that's just horrible. And who says something like that? It's super transphobic and it's just negates everything that is good and kind in the world it's just espousing so much hate for no particular reason. And I think it's just disgusting. And I can't believe somebody would actually come out with something like that. And yeah, he deserves to get dragged, honestly. If you're going to come out and say something like that, you should be ready for the blowback. We do this show and we spout our opinions every week and we're prepared for what comes after. And sorry. And we stand by those opinions and it's something that we have to defend or we have to grow from them.
Absolutely. And, you know, it stemmed from TikTok and that alone to me is interesting because we learned that TikTok is owned by a Chinese company, right, Cody?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there's all kinds of things with that, whether they're getting your information. I didn't join it because of that information. I recently joined Reels. I'm doing Reels video on IG, which is similar to TikTok. It's interesting with these new phenomenons that people can turn something. There's so many great videos on TikTok, as you've seen. And as I'm going through IG Reels, I'm not a I don't consider myself a super I'm not into the phone so much, but I find myself like totally laughing and into so many talented people on these videos.
Yeah.
It's so
All
fun.
my reels
but
are
it's
of thirst traps. So
I love it.
So yeah.
Yeah, I might be that way. We have a segment coming up later in the show. Yep, that is I might get thirsty like that too. I just think that with this, there's always going to be a negative side to a lot of this new phenomenons. And for somebody to create, I mean, whether he was being just off the cuff and being stupid and saying something like, I'm super straight and this, he unfortunately caused a lot of other guys to jump on the bandwagon of hashtag super straight. And it's caused a lot of uproar. Now he's claimed, and where we're following up from the show the other day, is that there's been a lot of hate coming towards him. He's claimed, and it may be right or not, that he's gotten some death threats and all that. I mean, I need some receipts to believe that, but if he says he is, and no one should ever, that I do, no way.
Yeah.
That's so horrible. However,
do not threaten death
for
on anyone.
A movement that is based on hatred towards something else, like I don't date, it's like, fine, then you don't, I don't, the reality of the whole situation is that most of the people that I've ever known, I grew up, we're going to talk about it a little bit in our hate segment coming up, but I got introduced to, when in my early years, to the trans community in the work that I was doing as a dancer. And I learned, I had such an appreciation for the community, and I'm still learning, as we all are learning. And my trans ally, my friends that are trans, they half the time, when the people that they met didn't know that they were trans, but then when they were introduced to it, they fell in love with them. So in other words, they didn't set out to sexualize a community, and there is that people do that. They fell in love with the they fell in love. The examples that I have in my world, they fell in love with the person, and then they had a conversation and found out, okay, I'm trans male, I'm trans female. And 9 times out of 10, out of the examples of my friends, literally my friends' stories that I have, it wasn't an issue at all. In other words, they fell in love with the person, and it became more of an issue of, okay, well, let's figure out how we're going to introduce our relationship to, like, my family, if that was potentially going to be an issue at all. But it really was never an issue of the person, because they didn't fetishize it.
I agree with you. And at the end of the day, trans women are women, and that's point blank, period. And I want everybody to know that. And if you think otherwise, don't come near me. Don't sit next to me. Don't say it to me, because you're going to get an earful from me. Now, on the topic of the death threats, I actually kind of do believe that he got death threats from people, because if you think about it, and the way that I think about it is, and I don't want to equate everything to Drag Race, but I mean, it's the point of reference that I have for this.
Oh, if you're going to talk about Mick, got Mick.
Oh no, I wasn't going to say that.
Okay,
but
no. Which I love.
Mick. I don't think that he's gotten any death threats. Hopefully. Oh my God, I hope not.
Okay, no, sorry.
But
go ahead.
The queens on there always talk about how they receive death threats, and if you think about it, the demographic that this super straight would offend is kind of the same demographic as the young Drag Race audience. So if they could do it over there, then of course, then they can do it to the super straight community. So I kind of believe that. And it's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Again, death threats are bad, so don't do it.
Yeah, and it just goes back to, yes, nobody deserves that, but just think before you post something because it has created a movement of hatred towards anti-trans, whether he wants to admit it is or not. It's created a whole movement.
Oh, yeah.
I doubt there was anybody, he could have just liked who he liked and not even posted on this. He was trying to be provocative. Unfortunately, it's incited what I feel a whole movement of people that really can't handle the trans community. He's incited by creating this super straight
Yeah.
hashtag.
And like I'm sure we'll talk
And
about.
words, as we all talk
That's what I'm
about, as
gonna
we're going to
say.
continue to talk about, words matter.
Words carry weight, is what I was going to
Words.
say. So, oh my God, look at us being on the same page.
One last thing, though, I want to say about, since you brought up Drag Race, is for those of you guys watching Drag Race, one of my favorite contestants on the show is Got Mick. And a shout out to RuPaul's Drag Race, because Got Mick is, we had a question on our Ask Tags. We do this thing on TAGSPodcast, like you can ask us for advice, relationships, sex advice, and our recent question this week, you can listen to it, had to do with the trans man asking us about going to Key West and staying at Island House, which is known as an all-male nude guest house. And I've been there several times, so I had a lot to say, and we gave some great advice. I'll let you listen to it. I won't rehash all that, but shout out to RuPaul's Drag Race, because bringing on a trans man, and yes, they are men, and it's I think to back to this point of trans women, it's like, no, they're women, okay, albeit trans women, trans men, but they're still men and women, and they get to enjoy the privileges of their newfound gender status. And that's my point. I love that the show RuPaul's Drag Race welcomes a trans man to the show who's doing drag dressed up as a female, which I think is amazing. The whole dichotomy of that needs to be studied. I'm obsessed with it. I love her.
Got Mick is the best. So yeah.
My favorite. I'm rooting. I'm just,
well, she's not my top winner, but we could talk about that for a long time.
Silence. We need to move on. I've heard enough. All right. We've got a weekly segment that we've been doing since the onslaught of Tags Live, and it's called Vulnerable Voices. And if you listen to the show, it's where we get a little bit deeper. One of my favorite words for so many reasons. Also, for you get your mind out of the gutter over there, Cody, because it was the title of Lisa Stansfield's last album.
Oh,
Deeper.
that's
all right.
That's
anyways.
Yeah. Sure.
Silence. All right. This week we I've been posting things, and we've been talking about it on Tags Podcast about Stop Asian Hate hashtag. I posted it. We've talked about it, but we couldn't be a show to get deeper if we couldn't really be addressing this issue. And rather than just talking about the atrocities that we've been seeing towards the Asian community right now, we do have this platform here, and let's bring it back to at least our community here, our LGBTQ community that we do here every week on Tags Live. And what can we do is have a conversation. And it begins with conversation, as we know, of all things. And taking macro to micro, we can talk about our community here. And it really hit home on so many ways, because I've always, Cody, just to give you a little bit of background, I grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area, California, which is hugely populated with the Asian American community. In fact, I was one of only few Latinos in my school, where I actually was called, growing up, Beaner, really hateful names that really, it's fun. We talked about it on the show, but I grew up with so many Asians in my unit. And then San Francisco has the Asian American community is so rich, and I love it. And I've been to Asia a few different times, and I love Asia. I also worked as a former dancer, where my friend asked me to head up this club called Club Asia.
Oh, really?
And we had transgender people back in the 90s there featured. We did flyers where it was so much fun.
That's amazing.
Lastly, the thing I want to share with you is my second long-term, most important boyfriend that I ever had, that I'm still best friends with. After we're talking like 1995, it was Chinese American. And can I just tell you that I had people during and after tell me, "Oh, I didn't know you were into Rice Queens."
That's such an
And
offensive term.
it really is an offensive word, and I've never used that term, but there was a point when I didn't think Rice Queen was a bad term. It bothered me actually internally to the bone, but I just thought, oh, it's one of our lovable things. I do think though in our community we need to get rid of that
Oh yeah,
though,
for sure.
because it's so segmented of calling, you know, the astonishment that somebody could be clutching their pearls practically to think that, oh, I didn't know you were into Rice Queens or this. It's like, I'm into the person who happens to be
Exactly.
Chinese American, and he's still like my best friend today. And I learned so much about the community during that period that I love, as he learned about my Latino roots as well, and we had a nice hybrid relationship that we still constantly share.
That's beautiful.
I don't know. Thanks. Yeah. What's your thoughts though about our community, the hatred that you're seeing? I mean, what's things that stem for you, Cody?
Well, just like you, I mean, I think beautiful is beautiful. If you are attractive, no matter your race, creed, religion, what have you, if I'm attracted to you, then I'm going to date you. And I find beauty in all shapes and sizes, forms. And I was dating a guy at the beginning of the pandemic, and he was Asian. I don't know if I mentioned that. And the things that were going on, I was worried for him, honestly, because of all the.
This isn't a new conversation.
Yeah,
that's to your point.
For sure. So because of what the despot that was in the presidential seat, what he was saying about the COVID-19. So I was worried for him, but he stood resilient. He went to BLM marches. He was going out. He was living his life as normally but as safely as possible. And I applaud him for that. I have so much respect for him. He's still beautiful to me. So I can't call him now, unfortunately, but
no, you were dating somebody else.
Somebody,
you know what?
so.
You said something that struck me.
Yes.
He went to BLM marches, Black Lives Matter marches. And you know why that struck to me is because so many of our Asian brothers, sisters, they have transgender community, have stood alongside BLM and along like my Latino roots. And it's interesting. I was just thinking about it today, and it's so sad that there was a shooting a few weeks ago at the massage parlors in Atlanta, and no sooner Colorado happened, and it's a few more people that were sadly massacred, and we've almost forgotten about our Asian community. It's like they always seem to get slid under when they're supporting us. And I feel like we need a movement like BLM for the Asian American community.
That's a good point.
And I've heard a lot of my brothers and sisters in the community that for various reasons, like particularly in the elder community, they don't always rise and they'd rather just stand silent. And I get it for many reasons. But I feel like us allies need to stand alongside them even more than ever before.
I'm with them
because
all the way.
When they were, like you just said, he was marching. Your ex was marching with BLM. Well, where is the Asian Pacific Islander Asian community movement that is marching down the streets like they are for BLM? I say, no, we need to really be louder than for the community.
I'm speaking up. I know I post so many things on Instagram. If there's a march to end Asian hate, then I will be there. Just let me know when and where, and I'm ready to stand with my Asian brothers and sisters. Because if we don't stand together, I said it last week, we fall apart. So, yeah,
right. And then, you and I were talking offline as we do in our pre-production meeting. And one of the things we were talking about is there's little ways that we can start to change attitudes and beliefs. And one of them, we've all heard things like no femmes, no fats, no Asians.
Yeah.
No Asians is one that I've seen. And it's for the longest period, it was thrown around so willy nilly that it's so insensitive. And I think we need to stop that language of know this. Know what? Know you is what I want to say. When somebody tells me no you,
stay away.
effer.
You're blocked, basically. If you
I don't block. The thing is, I don't want to block people. I've never blocked anybody.
I block so many people.
No, I have. I've never because I tell you, I'm not really into the apps. So you'd have to teach me how to block. But I'd rather I feel like it's a teaching moment to like, don't go there. Like, first of all, I wouldn't go on someone's profile that said no, this or that and school them because I feel like it's being a little extra, although I would just shy away from.
Yeah.
But I have known in the past, I can tell you that I've been in conversations, and I'm talking like 5 years ago, but I'm partly maybe because I haven't been out, where I've heard people say things about certain groups of individuals, sometimes my LGBTQ Asian community. Oh, I'm not into that type. And shame on me at that time for standing silent.
Yeah.
I let it, even though I knew in my core that didn't feel right, that I stand with my Asian LGBT brothers and sisters. Yeah. And I don't want to do that anymore. Like, I want to call people. And if you don't like that, in the last several years, I've also learned to have a voice, as you can tell. And I don't really need you to, I don't need that. And I'm just going to cut it out. I don't hate you. I also don't want hate for hate. I just know what I won't stand for.
Yeah. And you know what? It feels so good to stand up for what you actually believe in and not discrediting or discounting someone based on something so vapid and surface as their race, their gender, if they're transgender. I remember one time an acquaintance, he's not my friend, he said something disparaging about transgender people on Grindr, and I stood up to him. I said, why do you even care? Why do you care if a transgender person is on Grindr? If you don't like them, then don't say anything to them. They're allowed to be anywhere. They are part of our community. They're allowed to be wherever they want to be. So, and it felt so good. It was just so gratifying to actually speak up for what I believe in. So, yeah.
I love that, Cody. I love that.
It was great.
And, lastly, one of the things that we talked about on our pre-show that we were talking about is different ways on change and positivity that we can. And I was sharing with you that when I first moved here in 2007, the gay community that I was hanging around, I live in Chelsea in New York, and I was dating a guy, and I was dating a guy that was in Hell's Kitchen. Okay, 2 gay areas that were not very far apart. And so many of the friends that I was meeting at that time thought that going anywhere beyond Chelsea and Hell's Kitchen was out of the question and a field trip. And I, who came from San Francisco and had traveled, wanted to explore Harlem, and I wanted to go to Brooklyn, and I wanted to go to the Bronx, to go to, and Jeremy and I, Ross Lopez, my co-host, have gone to the Bronx to go see the Flower Show every single year when he lived here. And the thing I want to say about that is, you can do things like by just implementing saying hi to a neighbor and making the other familiar, right, Cody?
Oh, yeah.
We were laughing about that, but and because the unknown to me is always hatred, but the familiar is ultimately love.
That's right. I said that we were going to end on that, so let's just leave it right there.
All right. And it's
because that's a wonderful, beautiful place to end on.
I love it. All right. Well, Time to move on, and we got
Yes.
some fun stuff coming your way, including our take on this week's thirst trap. We both are. It's our job to describe our favorite thirst trap. But
I love our
before we
job.
get to, I love our job. I know. All right, a couple Reddit stories came out this week, and I love Reddit in my LGBTQ corner because there's always things to talk about. And this one writes: "Is it still pleasurable for bottoms to be penetrated after an orgasm? Plus, what's the best order of events?" Well, talk to your bottom, girl, is what I got to say. But let's get a little deeper.
Why are you asking people on the internet?
Let's get a little deeper. Yeah, ask the boy that you're pounding.
I know, right? First and foremost.
That's what I really actually thought. But so he goes, top here, curious about the bottom experience. After, and by the way, tops and bottoms, I was just talking to my neighbor, and it's all about flipping and getting familiar with the other side. So if you're really that invested in knowing what your bottom thinks, try it out, and then you'll know.
There it is right there. Topic is done.
I'm just dropping this mic all night long. After he says a bottom ejaculates, does he still enjoy being penetrated? Again, ask him. Or should I slow down? What about prostate orgasms? Can you have multiple orgasms? Should I just keep going? Besides general soreness, are there any cues to look out for me to slow down and pull out?
Ask him.
And he writes, we're just going in real time. Yeah, answering this question. Extra credit. I love this extra credit moment. He writes, I want my bottom to have a good time.
Oh, girl.
Well, then what should he do?
Do you not know
Ask
if he's
him.
having a good time? Oh my goodness. There you go.
When he ejaculates, for example, should I open by jerking him off to completion before penetrating him, or does it feel better if he ejaculates in the end? First of all, I think he's overthinking it.
They must be not experienced when it comes to, or
I think he's overthinking it a little bit
Yeah.
too much, but I will say as a bottom, typically, for the most part, although I'm into flipping these days.
oh my
I will-
goodness, excuse me.
Yes, you're going to hear it when I'm talking about our sponsor this week, which is Skin.
Ooh.
You'll hear a story. But I will say that when you are bottoming and somebody, if you haven't had an ejaculation yet,
Mhm.
that yeah, you can have somebody come right back in there. But keep in mind, if you were pounding your bottom for a long time, then maybe mix it up and go slow. Like mix up the rhythm. The rhythm is gonna get you.
Hey.
Why am I always?
Yeah, I bring it out in you. I bring a
You
song.
bring it out of me.
And Gloria Estefan is the way to go, okay?
Hey, you know we love a good Gloria.
You know we
moment.
love-
What are your thoughts?
So I've done the personal research. I feel like Bill Nye the Science Guy when it comes to pleasing bottoms. And from what I have learned from my various encounters is that
Mhm.
generally speaking, the bottoms do not like being penetrated after they ejaculate. Generally speaking, I saw some responses on the Reddit that said, and one of them was like, "I'm a nympho," so my viewpoint might be skewed. And I was like, "Okay, well let me add him to the list so I can get that research done." So he's
Yeah, you know what? To your point, the craziness about this Reddit writer is that he sounds really concerned and genuinely interested. So if it sounds like these might not be a one-time hookup, so why not just lie in bed? Because you know, if you've had an ejaculated, look at me trying to as this show gets
come,
expelled
girl.
out, I never know where it's going out.
just say, "Come, girl."
But I know. I never know where the show's going out.
It's
But
true.
the point being is, if you have your moment,
Mhm.
there's that moment when you bask in.
I love
and why
that.
not just check
When you have your
in?
moment.
Why not just look into the guy's eyes if you're so concerned and say, "What would you like?"
How
It
are
sounds
you-
like you're.
How are
Yeah,
you
how
doing?
are you-
going on with you? Would you like to have an orgasm? Talk.
Would you like to be opened up again? How
Ooh, wait a minute.
would you like it in a pounding way, or should I go slow and R&B it?
Yeah. Would you like me to
Maybe you
eat
can get the music going.
Would you like for me to eat you out a little bit? Just there's so many things that you can do. Just talk to
Would you
your partner.
like to play with the
Communication is
toy?
key. Ooh.
Look at us giving
Ooh. I think that we've done this a couple times. What do you think?
Okay, yes, we have. Exactly. Would you like some no, all right, anyway, let's move on.
Tell me what that was later on, because
I will. All right. Our next Reddit does anyone else hate this? Does anyone else hate when dudes post pics of their dicks with the title soft, and it's pretty clear they've got tons of blood rushing through their cock? So like editing
AKA
this
semi.
Yeah, like sure, maybe it's not a full-on boner, but dude, that's not soft, writes the person. The never-ending guess to appear like we've got bigger dicks than we do.
Yeah.
He just wanted to know the thoughts on that. It got me thinking about that we're always trying to advertise our best parts, right? And I was telling you offline on our show that like ultimately they're going to see what you got in person, but we're marketing ourselves. We were talking about this on TAGSPodcast the other day about how to market yourself and take these pictures for these apps. And it really is like marketing a sweater. And if you got the most basic Gap sweater, how do you... basic ass sweater from Gap.
How do you make it basic?
And if I put the camera over here versus here, I can make it look differently.
It's
so
true.
I think my question. So we were talking offline, Cody, is aside from all that craziness, what's your recommendations on how you market yourself? Is a picture of your face brilliant better or a body part?
So I like to do torso and face because nothing annoys me more than a picture of just a torso. That is so 2002. It's so annoying.
Yes.
Like, really? Why are you not showing your face? Well, there except for
what if you were a celebrity?
If you I mean, I am, aren't I? Wait a minute. Am I not a celebrity?
Yeah, on your way.
Thank you, darling. So are you.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just think that it's so anybody that's on Grindr should be willing to keep your secret if you're gay. So show your face. I like to show my face and my body because these tits just can't be hidden, and I need to show them off as much as possible. So yeah, that's what I like to do.
JJ says to our point, as angles are everything from top to bottom, they are everything, and the reality is, I guess you want to put in marketing, and I don't know why I'm so surprised because I did work in marketing for so many years, and you definitely have to sell it. We're selling ourselves when we put our pictures on the apps, and if it lures somebody in, I think people are forgiving if it doesn't look exactly like that when they get to your house and see it. Maybe it looks better. Maybe they realize, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, that could be a thing.
But I look so much cuter than in my pics.
Okay, bitch, whatever. But what does Teddy say? Teddy read.
I personally like to be surprised by dick size. I always say, if it's super huge or super small, let me know. And anything else, just let me see it when we meet. And I love that. That's great.
Okay, Teddy.
I
have to know, are you a top or a bottom? Because if you're a bottom, you want to see it typically. Just saying.
He's versatile.
Verse. Okay. I like that.
Yeah, just like you,
There's
right?
a little bit of cushion. I'm becoming that. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well,
all right. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, never mind. Let's move on.
Say it.
I was gonna just say I'm a grower, not a shower. So.
Yeah, you said that before. All right. Silence. It's time for our final segment. You've all been waiting for. Cody put it in the comment section. I put it earlier in
All right,
there.
I got you.
It's our new favorite segment where we weigh in on our favorite thirst trap, and it's the site that does porn stars or OnlyFans guys. And it's this week. It was 18 gay porn stars. Last time we did it was 28 of them. And who took the best photo or video? We can't show them on you. It's going to be on TAGSPodcast.com tomorrow for you guys to weigh in. And I want you guys to weigh in on this and let us know what your favorite thirst trap of the week was. Our job, this fun game, is to descriptively describe why we're thirsting and have to get off this show. There's a reason why we kept it to the last segment, because we got to get busy. I know. I got my lube all queued up over there in my couch, and I'm ready to go after the show.
I already got the booty call lined up. Oh my God.
All right. Do you want to go first?
So first I want to say Teddy says Roxas. Roxas. Yeah. So that's
what's Roxas? So then what's Roxas doing in the picture so we can?
So Roxas he's just standing there with his tongue out. He's beautiful. He's very cute. His penis is almost to the floor. He's standing up and his penis is almost to the floor. So it's like 28 inches long. So so I get why he likes it, especially if he's versatile. So yeah. Thank you, Teddy, for voting. My favorite, and this is my favorite segment, so we had to start doing this every single week. Okay. All right. Is David Zane. He is just stunning.
Is it midway down the page?
He's all the way, he's closer to the bottom.
You love a good bottom.
Don't I? I saw that joke coming after I said it. He is.
Let me see.
He is third to last. He's third to last.
Dean Dixon, no. Just start describing. I'll find him.
So it's a picture of him relaxing on his floor right in front of his couch. But the thing that got me going is he has the dreamiest come get in it eyes and this sexy ornate tattoo of a rose on his chest, which I love tattoos. And he has bedroom hair going on, and of course there is his beautiful dick just begging to be sucked. So I'm in love.
Also, Cody, if you've noticed, I think he might have this beautiful mole underneath his left nipple.
You looking at my man? Right? Hold on.
I am.
Oh, he does. Yeah.
Okay, no, good. It's not a speck on my computer screen.
You never know.
It's universal. It's universal. You don't know what's going on in this household. So yeah. I commend you on your pick and
thank you,
say kudos to you. All right. Good job. Good job. Mine this week on my favorite thirst pick. I think I may be redundant. I can't believe, but he made the list again from our last time. That goes to Diego Matos.
Okay.
And I think if memory serves me right, I picked him last time, but I didn't realize I did until we did the segment. He just happened to make it in again. I guess I just really like this
guy. At you. You might have a type.
I have a type. He's Brazilian. He's lying also on a couch. It's almost similar to yours. We like the same poses. His dick is in the air, and it's way thicker than your boys. Just let me say, it's.
I mean,
super,
we like
super thick. What I love about him is he's all about the face and the dick. So the dick is like right in your face, super thick in the core. I mean, the core of the base is thick.
Tell me more about how thick it is.
You get one huge right ball. He's chocolate brown, which I love. He's got a t-shirt on. He's got a great haircut, and he's just looking at you in the camera. He's got beautiful sweetheart lips, a cleft chin, 2 diamond earrings that are hot.
He's really
hot. He's one of my favorites. I've looked him up on Twitter, but I think he's I did the same thing last time too, and I can't believe I'm repeating myself. I just realized that right now.
It's okay. It's perfectly fine.
And Teddy says now we have to have him on the podcast. Yes, I'm reaching out to him as we speak.
Diego
We're
Mato,
already...
if you can hear
yes.
this. Come
he
and
is
chat.
a top. Yes, absolutely. Oh my God, this has been so much fun. All right, well,
Are we going to give
yes,
away
Cody?
the? Are we going to give away the? Yeah.
I think our favorite winner needs to go to Teddy Alexis Rodriguez, right?
Yes.
Would you not agree?
Oh,
Teddy,
no,
for being
sure.
for every week participating, we want to send you a gift. If you can just offline, actually, if can you put in your email or my email, Cody, and then we'll send it to you.
My email?
Or
I'm friends with Teddy on Instagram. I will DM him.
Okay, yes. Teddy, you have won our Man Squeeze. It's by Adam's Toy Box is where everybody can get 20% off if you go to adamstoybox.com. And if you put in our promo code TAGS, TAGS, you get 20% off. But our winner, Teddy, for just participating every week, supporting us, is getting the Man Squeeze. I will personally send this off to you if you just DM Cody with your address and deets.
Not
we will
DP,
get this off.
DM.
Yes, we will get this off to you. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Thank you so
Teddy,
much.
every week. This is yours, and it's a fun one. You will really like it. Just give us a review on it. That's all we ask.
Yay.
Absolutely. All right. So if you guys are on Clubhouse tomorrow, we are starting our brand new Clubhouse room. It's going to be called Sex Positivity LGBTQ plus. It's going to be a lot of fun from 9 p.m. Eastern time to 11 p.m. And join us on there. Every week we're going to get into it. We're going to bring special guests on there. We really welcome it. As always, Cody Maurice Doggett, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure, my love.
As a life coach, you can follow him at KMD Coaching on Instagram, KMD Coaching, or on his other one, Mr. Maurice.
Yay.
Follow us on Instagram at TAGSPodcast, and hopefully we'll join you on our Clubhouse tomorrow on Sex Positivity. Thanks so much for the support, everybody. Congratulations, Teddy. Keep it safe, wear your mask, but keep it sexy. We'll talk to you soon.